Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Hey. So, like, listen.
The older you get, the busier you get, guys.
Shit you guys. Happens. It's been over a month. We took over a month off. And shit has happened.
So
4
much.
episodes. The whole season of 911 8B has started again. And now we're about to go into a hiatus for a week.
Okay, 1 week is not too bad. I can't be that mad.
Yeah. Except every week feels like 100 years. Every week feels like a hiatus. I can't imagine what waiting 2 weeks for a new episode is going to feel like.
I don't know. My timeline has really slowed down, but I think what's actually happened is that I've muted a bunch of people that were pissing me off. So
yeah.
Like, half of my timeline is just everyone continuously, like, talking about how Eddie should have been in the episode, and like, don't get me wrong, I miss me some Eddie, but I'm like, that's all the discourse there is, and I'm like, we can only talk about him not being in the episode so much when we know he's also not going to be in the next episode.
And
also,
like, I agree,
because it's like, we know why. We know why he wasn't
we
there.
know why. You swapped the episodes around, that's why.
And we know why.
I agree with the sentiment that it is fucked up that a main character is getting sidelined in such a way.
Yeah,
I agree with the sentiment of that. I think with the pace of that episode, there was nowhere to put him.
No, absolutely
There's nowhere
not.
to put it. Like, it makes more sense for him to be in this week's, but he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be in this week's.
I don't think he's in this week's episode.
I think
and
there's
we know
a possibility of, like... No, I think there's a possibility of a FaceTime. Of he saw the news and he calls Buck. I think there is a possibility of that.
Yeah, I don't see like any Eddie storyline happening at all.
Yeah, like it would make sense logically, but I'm also like, Buck is running around chicken with his head cut off. Like, I want to know how they'd work it in a way that feels like it would time appropriate.
But at the same time, like,
new evil thought. But Eddie tries to FaceTime Buck, and Buck rejects the call because he can't.
Oh, that would go so hard in my AMV world. Sorry. It actually, because I could recontextualize that forever. I could be like, they're fighting, they're divorcing, they hate each other, they won't pick up each other's
because he
phone
can't
calls.
get a hold of Buck. Doom calls Maddie, being like, why isn't Buck answering the phone? And she's like, I
saw that the 118 is in trouble on the news. Why isn't Buck answering his phone? Is Buck okay? And in reality, Buck's like, you're safe in Texas, and I can't even think, like, I have to put you out of my head because everybody else that I love is dying right now.
Sorry, babes. One time you're not a priority.
I hope they give Eddie a moment like that, because the more and more time goes on, I mean, I guess we had some pretty big moments, actually, when Eddie was leaving. But, like, the more time goes on, it's literally like, Eddie does not really give a fuck, does he?
But let's also on the
does.
flip side of it, for the last few episodes before this two-parter started, Chimney was also a little bit on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like,
but then they were like, let's kill him.
But, like, Chimney and Hen also had a few episodes where it felt like they were not the priority.
Yeah, and they said, let's kill her, too.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not worried about Eddie's storyline getting, like, resolved. I just maybe you should cut this out. I'm in Doomer world, so it's like Ryan
had to cancel an appearance at a con because he's still filming. Eddie's not
everybody
going anywhere.
It's because they're so behind schedule. Like, I am just like, I'm past the anger stage. I'm like, okay, like, but that's okay. Well,
it's a safer place to feel like to be in the, like, oh, it's not going to happen. We're Doomer. Everything's done. Like, it's a safer place to rest your mind because we've been there before, and so it's fine to rest over there. Then we get to be pleasantly surprised if we're wrong.
That's why, like, it's kind of been nice because I've been working that I don't, like, scroll the timeline all day. So it is like, I do now go into the episodes kind of blind. Not blind because I see, like, the stills and the synopsis and everything, but it's like, I like going in kind of like no expectations. I go in to watch TV for an hour and then go about my week, I guess.
Yeah.
But
as of right now, so everybody knows, part 1 of the 2-part thing has aired. It is April 16th right now. This episode is not going to be edited in time for the new episode to come out because I have work tomorrow. So the new episode airs tomorrow, and then we're in a 1-week hiatus of 911. And then that's where we're at right now. The episode 17 title, Don't Drink the Water, just got revealed.
Yeah, like everyone,
And,
like the only illusion everyone can think of is like fucking you
There's
bought
a
water
Dave
instead
Matthews
of the
Band
juice.
song. Well, there's
And,
that,
like-
but there's a Dave Matthews Band song that's like some reference to being gay.
Oh,
And like, I promise it's like some kind of water supply is
Oh, for sure.
damaged.
yeah, tainted.
Like,
For
that
sure.
is what it's about.
Me last
but it-
summer. Do you remember that shit when I was texting you when there was like the parasites in the water?
Oh, yeah.
But it'll be about Gay Eddie until it isn't.
Right,
was-
everybody's
It's about
like...
Gay Eddie until it
Everybody's like, it's gay, Eddie. Well, there's also a movie called Don't Drink the Water, starring Woody Allen. This feels like a thing. It was made for TV. This feels like a thing that Tim would be a fan of.
isn't. What's it about?
The story revolves around a family of American tourists that gets trapped behind the Iron Curtain. Michael J. Fox plays the American ambassador's son. Is Don't Drink the Water, like, as a phrase, kind of a reference to, like, the Kool-Aid? Is it sort of like a...
That was my first like thought, like that kind of like phrase.
Because isn't the term, like, drinking the water...
each other.
Isn't the term, like, drinking the
Kool-Aid
water
is,
mean,
killing
like, being...
yourself.
No, like, being, like, brainwashed.
There's also
I have no clue.
a 1974 series called Don't Drink the Water that's a short-lived sequel to On the Buses. It's a it also feels like an obscure reference that Tim would make.
It's just like
Right,
he
this, like,
chooses,
this
every
this Woody
third
Allen
option.
play, like, really feels like
Up
it
Tim's
would be
alley.
it would be a thing. This is why I'm sort of like... And if it's...
the Woody Allen thing is basically a remake of a Jackie Gleason 1969 movie too.
Well, it was originally a play, a 1966 Woody Allen play. And
then it got made into a movie in 1969 with Jackie Gleason.
Yes, and so if this is... And it's a situation comedy. So I'm weirdly feeling like this could be an Athena thing.
Mm.
As fucking everything ends up being. Like,
But
listen, far be it me,
I
far
think
be
that
it
reference...
for me to complain.
If they're parodying the movie Don't Drink the Water and then they name the episode Don't Drink the Water, I think that's like... I think that's against rules. That's...
Yeah.
Really?
That's something...
Well,
oh, yeah,
like,
that's...
yeah, like they didn't call the Vertigo episode Vertigo.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah.
So...
But like,
the
and
Dave
once
Matthews
again, far be
song-
it for me to complain about Angela Bassett doing work.
Oh, because
But
she's
for
mother.
the love of God, we need to knock it the fuck off with Athena-based storylines this season. We get it. She's very important. There are 19 other people on this show. Can we have 10 minutes for them?
There
please?
are 15
I'm
billion
begging
people on
you.
this show.
Ugh.
Let me see this Dave Matthews. Oh, okay. Dave Matthews Band, lyrics to Don't Drink the Water. Come out, no use in hiding.
Fuck.
Come now, can you not see? There's no place here, what were you expecting? No room for both, just room for me. So you will lay your arms down, yes, I will call this
Buddy
home.
roommates. Buddy roommates.
Away, you have been banished. Your land is gone and given to me.
Eddie's house.
Yeah, and here I will spread my wings. Yes, I will call this home. What's this you say? You feel the right to remain, then stay, and I will bury you. What's that you say? Your father's spirit still lives in this place. Well, I will silence you. We're literally building an A and B right now.
God damn. God damn. My computer is freaking the fuck out
Wait,
because
that's
I
crazy.
restarted it 4 times. If it is a Dave Matthews Band buddy thing, oh god.
kinda
Well, I'd be like,
awesome.
that's really Christian of you guys. Actually, that
That's-
makes a whole lot of sense.
But I
for
was gonna
this
say
show.
that's
Yeah.
like so on brand.
Yeah, like we're freaking out and dooming like this is a season finale, and it's not. Like there are 3 episodes left after this part airs.
This season has felt like 3 different seasons.
Yeah, B-NATO was this season.
That's
Not-
so awesome.
B-NATO Plane Crash was. I just
B-NATO
so I
Plane
was
Crash
at the-
is like seriously a Hall of Fame
I was
run
gonna
of
say,
TV to
the
me.
B-NATO was so
I've been
good. We
telling
had it so
every
good.
single person I've ever met about the B-NATO. I'm like, this season they did a B-NATO.
I was at the Psych fan convention this weekend. First of all, best week of my life. I was at the Psych fan convention and I was telling somebody sitting next to me, it's like, do you want a campy show that also every once in a while has like life or death stakes. So there was this B-NATO, and I made her laugh so hard I think she peed her pants.
That's
and I was like,
amazing.
I promise you that was this season.
We had this dude who would like come and get like the knives from our restaurant, like to like swap them out because they like sharpen them. And like one day he overheard me talking about that stuff with like my coworkers, and like for a couple of weeks he kept, every time he would come in he'd ask me how, was like, how's the B-NATO? And I'd be like, oh, let me tell you about that.
Oh, let me tell you. My favorite thing is talking about the B-NATO and then going, but that emergency doesn't matter at all because the bees caused a plane crash. I love telling people that. I'm like, the real emergency was a plane crash, and Angela Bassett had to land the plane on the freeway.
With the help of an autistic child whose special interest was planes.
Who failed the flight simulator every time he was supposed to land the plane, and yet somehow they did it with no casualties.
Amazing.
I say that too, and I'm like, the only reason the bees were even involved is because you could not advertise a plane crash emergency in September on a show called 911.
And
like...
they needed the planes to crash into each other somehow.
No other disaster they could come up with. They were like, nah, these planes need to crash into each other.
That was Tim parodying a specific movie. It was Airport 1974 or something. And that's why we were dooming for a second, because we thought that Tommy might actually be involved, because there's a helicopter like very much involved in that movie. There's a whole helicopter stunt, which people were saying.
Did you see all the people editing and unediting and editing and unediting the IMDb today?
Yes, which kind of pisses me off, because it's like, okay, people were like, he's been cut from the episode, and I'm like, they would not spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on multiple takes of a helicopter chase stunt just to cut it from the episode. There's like, he's gonna be in the fucking episode. Just accept it. I'm sorry. Like,
I am sick and fucking tired of that man making a paycheck off of this show. Literally put anybody else. It does not matter who's flying that thing.
Oh yeah, it's just,
that's what blows my mind.
He's a plot device. I
wonder if he had a certain amount of episodes in his contract for this season or something.
No, because he said that like, I don't think they do it that way, because he said that in one interview I read forever ago, he said that like for season 7 he was contracted for 4 episodes total, and then they just like extended it when they decided to keep Buck with Tommy. Like, he was only like, I think it was supposed to be like Cruise, Buck Bothered and Bewildered, First Date, and then like and then they were like supposed to break up, and then they stayed together, so they extended his contract. Technically it's that like he's contracted, and I'm so talking out of my ass because I don't actually know what his contract actually is, but like, I think there was somebody a while ago who said that like the way they do it, they are still supposed to be able to be tapped for press up to like a year after.
Yeah.
So
honestly, Oliver posting like one question of a story and then getting pissy and deleting it makes me so afraid that he's in a bad mood for a reason.
I just don't like, yes, but also I just think he's really funny. I think he just wanted to be like, yeah, I lied. Bye, guys. Like, I think that's really funny. But yeah, I don't know. He's like, at the end of the day, he's kind of Mr. Professional. So it's like, he's never gonna not do his job.
He's not gonna be messy again.
Yeah. I don't know. He has really learned, I think, this season, like, silence is golden. Because I feel like he's a lot quieter than he used to be, for sure.
And like, I know that like literally last week ABC was Buddiemaxxing on Maine, but it feels like it's been too long. And like,
well, this is the dog playing chess, right? So I like, because not to bring everybody into Doomer world with me, but this is the official accounts getting involved and teasing it is starting to feel like a great American queer bait. And we can't even call it a queer bait because Buck is queer. So it's like, we can't even actually say
like,
it's a queer bait.
But like, the relationship itself, it qualifies.
But like, yeah, it's like, this is a great American queer bait. As soon as the networks start playing along, it's like, oh, so you're not taking this seriously at all, are you? Like,
no. And it's been it's been a lot more with only in like the last like 3 episodes or so.
Like Hulu replying to shit, and the thing is like people take that as like a sign. Hulu doesn't actually really know anything though, do they?
No.
No.
They don't get episodes. Well, because they're not even filming. They're fucking filming the episodes 5 days before air. Like nobody's getting this shit in advance.
Of air, dude.
And that's why like I can never like fully close necessarily, because I know that everything is so drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll never fully shut the door, but I live in a world where I'm like, you're
about to only leave it propped open for a little bit.
Well, I'm like let's just see what happens. And like I don't know, we have fun while we're here, do theories, write fic, make edits. Like it's fun.
Yeah, it feels to me that if it does not happen by the end of this season, it will never happen.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, the window has passed fully. If anything,
at the same time, they started the conversation on the show. Like, are you in love with Eddie has happened on the show.
Yeah, it wasn't anyone else.
I know, but then the weird thing... I know, and then they're like... Yeah. And then they're like, but did we, like, open the door? Or did we close the door? Like was that like, Buck... denying it, was that like a tease, or was that like us shutting it down? And it's like, and for them to say like your mileage will vary, like people are seeing that as like a wink wink and a tease, but it feels like they're more just trying to straddle the line sometimes. Like it feels like he is like he being like Tim and the creative team is trying to be like, okay, we're gonna lay these foundations, that way like if we want to come back to it we can,
stay with me,
but if we don't or we can't, then we don't have to. And like technically it could just be
stay with me. It's season 8 Supernatural. It's Dean and Benny and Purgatory and Cass. That's what this feels like. This feels like them dipping a toe in and seeing how far they can go and testing some shit and then reserving the right to pull it out from under us.
You know, yeah, and you know what? At this point, starting the conversation in the show is the line. If they are going, and see, like, this is sort of my weird thing, is that I'm like, okay, if they do buddy roommates, which it looks like it's headed that direction, because how could it not? But like, if they do buddy roommates,
where's he gonna go?
And then they do any weird charged moment at all,
yeah,
that's over the line. If they don't follow through with it, that's a great American queer bait, everybody.
Me and Lena like, talking, we're like, they're just gonna like randomly drop that there's a spare room for some reason, like out of nowhere, and it's just gonna fuck with everything. And they, and you know what, they would. The thing. Like,
and you know what they would.
Like he would come back
because some pony, because some pony wants to keep playing with his favorite doll.
He would come back and stay in Chris's room because Chris is gonna like finish the school year in Texas, but Eddie's coming back or something. Yeah.
Or Chris is going to some, like, boarding school or whatever. Like, they're just... And it's so...
Like, they're not going to put them in the same bed. Like, they're not going to do that.
No. Like, and I just... But at the same time, it's like... Eddie, as a character, would never kick Buck out. Maybe it'll just be, like... Maybe that'll just be the season break, and then we'll start... Because, I don't know. My weird thing is that I'm like, okay, if they're moving all the sets to the new lot... To the ABC lot, it's like, why not give Buck a different apartment? But then it's like, why would they give Buck a different, like, that is the crazy thing, that they like are moving lots, because now
to just
Buck
keep
moving
one
into Eddie's
set
house makes logistical sense. And so they can start breaking down the other sets.
And like, and that's so funny, because I'm like, damn, is that a win for us anymore, or is that just like a
I seriously think they don't even care. I seriously think they're like, we don't care what this implies
they're like,
at all.
Perfect.
And I do think that this is us protecting,
like, this
protecting
works.
ourselves because we've been down this road before. Yeah.
Like, if anybody, like, right, and it's like, if anybody is like offended, sorry if you're like offended and hurt. But also, it's like, this is that we're kind of like in the doomer world right now. But
because not only like the Destiel of it all has happened to us before. Shameless. For 3 seasons, Mickey was gone.
To have fun.
Mickey was not there. He was gone.
I'm just keeping my expectations in check, and
Yeah.
I've been around the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even in 911 doing it themselves, they've done this before. They set this shit up before. So it's like, I think that there is so much, and like, not to get like weird and abstract about it, but, or to even say that like people should accept this treatment because like queer baiting's like not cool. Let's get that out of the way. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that there is this like beauty in fan media. And I think that like, I don't know. I think that like if we should be watching shows that like obviously have like correct representation, great. But that's the thing is like you can't even make that argument necessarily with 911 because they have great representation.
Yeah.
But there is also this like contentness that we should live in just creating
like,
fan media
at this point, like because of like
ships.
the trajectory Buddy has gone in, like some of the fan media like I have consumed, and like especially a lot of your fucking edits too, like they tell a beautiful story, and to just watch them fumble this like in front of our eyes is just like also it's devastatingly beautiful, because I'm like, we have made so much, or people have made so much out of just what has been given, and even what has been given is some of the most insane shit possible. And, like, to watch them, like, blow it up in our faces, like, in real time. And I'm like, you guys, like, just log on to Twitter for a day. And you guys would find...
Yeah, and, like, and the thing is, like, I think I have this perspective now because I have been making all these edits. And it's, like, I'm realizing, or, I like, realizing, because I've always been, like, editing. But it's, like, I'm realizing how kind of easy it is to take clips out of context and make them tell a story that still gives like the same emotional resonance.
However, these clips in context tell the
but
these clips in context
also,
are crazy.
These clips are kind of insane though.
Like, do you have any idea how much Christopher misses you and you want to go for the title? Are in context crazy.
These clips in context are crazy. The things I do with them to put them out of context also are crazy.
Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing.
In context crazy. I actually was going through this the other day. The season 3 arc is nutty when you break it down. Like,
it's wacko.
It is like it tells of, well, let me pull up what I was saying, because it seriously tells a super unique story. Not like unique story, but it tells a really obvious story. Okay. Season 3 Buddy arc. I mean, we start with solidifying Buck's place in Eddie and Christopher's life with the tsunami.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like immediately, because not only is this like filling a hole, quote unquote, in Eddie's life of having a co-parent, it's also filling a purpose hole in Buck's life, because he's coming off of this potentially career-ending injury.
And Eddie's like, you don't have nothing. You're not left with nothing. You have this. You have us. You have him.
Exactly. You have us. And then the show drives them apart to accentuate how much one, Eddie values Buck as both a parent and a partner, but also how Buck doesn't understand this.
Yeah.
And then Eddie gets into trouble, and so Buck commits to being in his life, and this is, you want to go for the title, because what he says before is, it's especially hard when you don't know that they need saving. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not a normal role to have in your best friend's life.
Yeah.
And then we go into the fable of Christopher and the skateboard.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Which is where Buck helps Eddie find a solution to give Christopher an accessible but active experience. Something that, like, and Anna is not at fault here, because Christopher got on the skateboard and she can't watch the kids all the time.
Yeah.
But this is like a representation of Buck being the partner that Eddie needs, because he's making things accessible for Christopher.
Yeah.
But not like saying that Christopher can't do anything.
And that is also Eddie Diaz. I feel like I'm performing like date conversation happens in season 3.
No, that's like season 5 when he's like,
Oh, is it really?
Eating spaghetti.
It's season 6 or 5.
Oh,
It's like later.
Okay.
It's when Peppa tries to set him up. But well, he does meet her and like genuinely hit it off with her. He's flirting with her, but then he yells at her because she fails Christopher in his eyes. And then many forget this, but I think maybe even a couple episodes later, we have Chimney talking to Eddie at Eddie's house, at a party at Eddie's house. And Eddie says, "This is the family that we chose." And it cuts to Christopher on the couch with Buck.
Yep.
And then it cuts to Buck in the kitchen with Maddie. This is Eddie's house. I'm not really a guest. Then we have Eddie Begins. Actually, I'm lying. I missed a spot. Actually, no. Eddie Begins is first. Then we have Eddie Begins, which is Buck widowing out, and
all of
which
this
is crucial. Which is crucial to the story. And Eddie imagines fighting to come home to Christopher and Buck, and then we know that after this, Eddie changes his will to put it in writing that they're tied to each other forever. And then there's the story with Red.
Oh my god, yeah. Buck feeling like he's going to be left alone and left behind.
Yeah. Because Red was always too busy with the job to settle down and have a family, but this ultimately gets resolved through talking to Maddie, because she assures him that she'll never leave him behind, but it's also like, well, this comes right hot on the heels of Eddie Begins.
Yeah.
And then immediately after is the season 3 finale, where Abby says, "The guy in LA stopped waiting for me a long time ago," and it immediately cuts to Buck helping Eddie or talking through summer camp options with Eddie.
Yeah.
About Christopher.
Yeah.
Like,
it establishes the family
but he's
so
single.
firmly.
It establishes this family unit, and it's like, so they were so setting it up. They were playing in people's faces.
Yeah, her saying
laughing
he
jokes
moved
since
on
day
from me
one.
a long time ago.
He moved on.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. We were playing in many faces.
Anyway, me and SJ have an episode set to record where we discuss, like, I'm still holding my Skip to the Gay Parts episodes of both Eddie and Buck until it happens, because it feels cool. Until the season ends or until it happens, I think, is when I will hold the episodes until. But me and SJ are gonna sit down and have a conversation about like long running watcher versus new watcher, and like the step by step of it all.
I have like a logistical question for you on that, and that's, if Eddie never comes out, like is never canonically gay, would you still do an episode on him?
I did an episode on Dean Winchester. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because like,
Okay, right.
because it's there, even if you tell me it isn't. Because it's
Oh,
there.
yeah. No, I just didn't know if you were limiting your episodes to like canon.
No,
or
I'm
not.
only waiting because I believe it's still a possibility. So I'm waiting to see. And then like, and then if the season ends and it doesn't happen, I'm still going to release the episode. And then if it eventually does happen, I'll
Be like,
publish
hey,
a follow-up.
welcome back, guys.
Redux.
Yeah.
I love a redux.
But anyway,
I saw a tweet that pissed me off the other day. We can transition into Shameless world here.
dude, I've
I
been
saw a
getting
tweet that
so
pissed me
much
off.
Shameless on my timeline.
Pissed me off bad. It's because of me. That like pissed me off bad, and it was actually I quoted it on private, so maybe I shouldn't air it out here.
No,
It
what
feels
was it?
mean.
No, what was it?
It feels mean.
Don't say what you said. Just say what it was.
It was a tweet basically saying, "Oh my god, there's like so many tethers comparisons between Ian and Buck, and then Mickey and Eddie." And I was like, yeah, there's some surface level similarities here, but they're not comparable.
No, they're not. They're not. It's
The level-
Dean and Cass
the
are
level
way
of
more of a
sorrow-
1-to-1 comparison.
But even then, it's just like the level of depth that like Ian and Mickey get into, and how much being gay is like tied to their story and tied to their struggles. It's like, actually, I don't like this comparison.
No. Being gay,
I think it cheapens both sets of characters.
being gay is the point and the purpose of their storyline. It is not the point and the purpose of Eddie and Buck. It is a feature. It is not the main event.
Exactly. And like also just like it kind of pissed me off because I was like comparing Mickey
That's
to
crazy
Eddie.
work.
No.
And because it was like and it was also like they're both like fathers. And I was like, actually, crucially, Mickey is not a father.
Yeah.
Because Mickey was forcibly made a father.
And it's not even proven that he even is biologically.
Not even that, but it's like he doesn't embrace it. He like reluctantly puts up with it.
Yeah.
But as soon as like he never tries to get Yevgeny back in his life.
No.
Like, and even then, like up until the finale, through the finale, he feels uncomfortable at the idea of having children.
Yeah. He like, there was that moment with Yiv after Ian's breakdown, but he just like, as a good person, wanted to make sure the baby was okay.
A baby is safe.
Yeah.
Like, and this is something that's like hotly contested in Galovich world. I don't think they'd have kids.
I don't think they'd have kids either. I don't think it would make either
I don't
of them
think they'd have kids. I think that, of course, Ian really wants it, but I also think he doesn't know anything else.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, here's what I think would happen. I think that they would, after the year in their West Side apartment is up, I think they would move back to the South Side in a house close to Lip. Or even next to Lip, whatever. They can be weird next door neighbors like that. Like Kevin V.
Yeah.
And I think Ian and Mickey would get a couple dogs, because I know Mickey would want some pit
they're
bulls.
getting dogs, yeah.
And I think that they would sort of treat their house as like a neighborhood shelter.
Yeah.
Almost.
Franny could come and crash when she fights with Debbie, and
yes, I think
they
would take in. Yeah, and I think they would sort of take in like neighborhood stray kids temporarily. Like, I don't think they would ever like, maybe they would adopt, but I really just think they would be like, this is a safe place for you to come and crash and be safe and have adults around watching out for you, but we're not gonna like take care of you. I think they would just like be
you can
like
crash here, but we're not doing
the
nothing.
cool neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
would
like,
be,
I don't
they
think
would be Kevin V before they had kids. That's what they would be.
Yeah. And like, I just think that being from the South Side is so tied into their identity that I think they would both feel uncomfortable after a year not being there.
Straight up, I'm gonna say an even more controversial thing. I think having children sort of ruined Kevin V. Call me a kid hater.
Let me think on that, because I don't disagree with you. I just want to think about why I agree. I want to like form an argument for why I agree.
Well, my thing with them is they were so established as like an independent and happy couple that like was living their lives exactly the way they wanted to. And then the whole like, and that of course means we then must have a family with one another, like got pushed in there when like they very much could have existed without. Like,
no, I agree with you. I think that they had like really rich inner worlds, and they both see, this is the thing, and I do know that this was also like a logistical thing, like putting everybody in their little groups of like actors they worked with.
Yeah.
Because of some pony who was a diva on set.
We haven't recorded since we found out that Emmy Russell was a huge bitch, apparently.
A humongo bitch.
Yeah, and like apparently, according to this Reddit AMA that is gospel to me, it didn't start out that way. Like it did not start out that way, but by the time the person joined the crew, it was pretty bad. And that is why they gave Fiona the landlord storyline, because she had her own days away from everybody else on set. So like away from the other actors, because like things were getting bad. And so I do think that is like part of the reason why, maybe not initially, but I do think later on that is part of the reason why Kevin V are like in their own little unit with their family. Like, it almost feels like you're watching a different show sometimes, which is why like when we point out Kev having a scene with Ian, that's like such a rare fun thing that used to happen all the time, because Kev would like work with Lip, or V would come over and like cut Ian's hair or whatever. Like, it's just like they used to be a lot more intertwined. And then I do think that was like a real world problem that made them sort of separate. But like, you're right. Like, Kevin V had such like, I feel like good inner worlds
I think it might be a personal thing that I think that characters that are like rich and full of life in their own relationships and independently, handing them a child to then deal with like bums me the fuck out. It like, and what are we doing?
It just tells me that you ran out of. It just tells me that they ran out of material to write about them, and I'm like, no, you have two strong characters that you could continue developing storylines that doesn't make them parents.
I am trying to think really back though, and I'm trying to remember if like they were laying those foundations even as early as like Ethel.
It was mostly just Kev.
Yes,
because
like
Ethel was what made them sort of think like, oh, maybe we could do this whole parent thing. I think the way that they went about it was interesting, like their infertility, and then like obviously the funny kind of like, I say funny, not like funny haha, but like funny like strange issue with like Carol getting pregnant and V getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Carol keeping the baby.
There's something about the show that at some point there were so many children that I was like, and this is all we can think to write about. Yeah. This is it. This is the whole thing. I mean, and that's why the Ian and Mickey of it all stands out as such a strong story. Because like, oh, here is a whole other thing we can look at that's not just about building a family and having a family and raising a family and doing everything for your family. It's like, no, here is this like real actual story to be following and falling for.
Well, it's because they're constantly fighting it. Like they're constantly fighting everything.
Yeah.
I think is why like, and so even then like they're sort of the child and the family that comes into their lives, it's like it was not their plan, and Ian slips into it fine, but even then it's just like it, I don't know, Mickey was definitely always a little uncomfortable playing house with Ian.
Yeah.
But we do know that like that was Ian's dream. Like that was always Ian's dream. I mean the cut scene where it's like literally his dream. Like playing house with Mickey was always his dream, but I can't help but wonder if that's just because he thought he just wanted a life with Mickey.
Well, yeah, and then by season 11, he's like, hey, let's move to like this gay area and get a place that's just for the two of us and like go and live and have social lives and maybe fuck around with other people together and like live the lives that they
like. I don't think, yeah, like I just don't think,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't think he necessarily has any hard like deal breakers on what their life is as long as they're living it together.
Yeah.
I mean, that is shown in his conversation with Mickey. We can move back to the South Side if you're not comfortable there. Like, when he literally says, he's like, I don't care. I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
He literally was going to get himself thrown back in prison just to be with him. Yeah. Like, I think Mickey not wanting to have kids would not be... I think Ian would push, but I think if Mickey... Because Ian always pushes. But, like, if Mickey was firm, I think he would back off.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I think Mickey's firm.
Yeah. And anyway, getting into this all, I also saw a tweet that someone was like, that called Ian Mickey, like, the founding fathers of gay television. And, like, listen, I appreciate the sentiment, and I do agree that they are awesome. Brian and Justin existed on Showtime 10 full
They're
years.
on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Brian and Justin are up there, and I am going to start my rewatch soon. Now that I've got a new phone and TikTok can take up as much space as I want, I am going to start my rewatch of Queer as Folk to educate the children on...
The people...
Like... on queer television history that existed before 2005. Remember that fucking book, Tommy? Okay.
Dude. And it's like, and sorry, it's like, there are so many other shows we could be watching right now that have, like, better than Buck Tommy. All of my timeline is converting to Righteous Gemstones.
I'm so sorry.
I don't have anything else to say about that. I know that you can't. You won't.
I can't. I won't. I don't.
Danny McBride hater.
I don't find that man funny. I don't.
I'm close to catching up.
Hey, do you know who is coming to Fan Expo in May?
Danny McBride.
Walton Goggins.
My poopy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's on the Walton Goggins train too, and it's like, I've been here.
I'm thinking of getting an autograph with him and being like, listen, everything you're in right now is great. I think about you as Venus DeMilo in Sons of Anarchy all the fucking time.
He would love that.
I think about her every day.
He would love if you said that. He would love if you said that. Walton Goggins is one of those like celebrities. There's a poster of him on my wall that's staring at me right now, by the way. I have a poster from Vice Principals that's like Lee and Gamby next to each other, and he's staring at me with crazy eyes right now. Walton Goggins is one of those celebrities where like he'll just say he's so spiritual.
Yeah. Evan,
like if you said that to him, he would be like,
Evan, if you don't know, Walton Goggins was on the show Sons of Anarchy, which is a biker show. And he played a character called Venus de Milo. She was a leather-wearing transgender dominatrix. And it would have been so easy on that show played by this kind of person to make her a joke. And the amount of love he poured into Venus, she became a love interest of one of the bikers, and the rest of the gang was just cool with it. Like,
he's so good. He's so good. And like, well, Evan, you've seen as Baby Billy. Like, oh my god, he just disappears into character.
I had no clue who he was. Like, he only came on my radar when that show Fallout came out, and he played like that one guy.
Oh,
that's
the
first time I think I ever acknowledged his existence. I think I'd seen him before and been like, this man was very scary looking. And then I saw him in Fallout, and I was like, why does everyone want to fuck the scary man? And then I watched him in Righteous Gemstones, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. His big thing before Fallout was Justified.
What's that?
He was the bad guy.
Justified. And he was opposite Timothy Oliphant, right?
Yes.
And then before that, he was on The Shield.
Oh.
So like he's been around. Like he was pretty famous.
He's been around. I just didn't watch anything he was in.
He was like Walton Goggins was one of those like actors. Like if you asked like an actor around Hollywood who they really admired or whatever, they would be like, oh, Walton Goggins, because he's like a character actor who totally disappears into character.
I'm telling you, Venus de Milo,
to the point where like
you gotta look up her scenes with Tig.
Oh, she's diva.
God, she's diva. She's the best.
She's diva. But then and then Danny, as far as I know, like he was working, but then like Danny reached out for him to do Vice Principals, and then that did really well. So for HBO.
Anyway.
So, I don't know. Walton Goggins.
So, yeah, I might meet him. But anyway, hey, it's been 45 minutes. Do you guys want to get into the episode of Shameless?
Yeah.
Okay, we had some catching up to do. I don't know what to tell you. The episode that somebody emailed us about was, in fact, episode 11. So we've got some time until we get there to talk about.
Oh, man. Episode 11 is a nuclear bomb of an episode.
Yeah. I'm excited to get I have not read the full email because I didn't want to get spoiled because once again, I do not know what happens.
Oh, you only watch the Ian Mickey scenes.
I only watch the Ian Mickey scenes. So hey everybody, if you skipped the first 45 minutes, welcome back.
Sorry.
Dude, SJ's last episode of Which Can Mean Nothing was over 3 hours long. It took me 3 days.
And sorry, SJ doesn't have any co-hosts, right?
Just SJ yapping.
That's crazy.
Okay.
It was amazing. They broke down
Congrats.
like minute by minute, scene by scene, everything they felt in the last like 2 episodes of 911 before that. It was beautiful.
Oh, okay. So there was at least like an agenda to follow, because I thought that like that his podcast was like just like whatever comes to mind.
Sort of, but then it's very 911 focused.
But this one was like, we're recapping. We're free capping.
Yeah.
Even.
Okay, so hello everybody. This is season 7, episode 6, the Defenestration of Frank. Oh, by the way, this is a shameless recap podcast.
If you guys forgot.
It's called The Luck We Had. This episode aired, oh good God, on November 6th, 2016. Yep. It was written by Eaton Frankel. This is the 22nd of 23 episodes he has written for this show. He was a writer on every single episode of season 1 other than the pilot. He also did 205 Father's Day, 210 A Great Cause, 307 A Long Way From Home, 312 Survival of the Fittest, 404 Strangers on a Train, 409 The Legend of Bonnie and Carl, 505 Rite of Passage, 509 Carl's First Sentencing, 605 Refugees, 610 Paradise Lost. This one and his last episode is season 7, episode 11,
Ooh.
Happily Ever After.
Okay, mister.
He also wrote on Gossip Girl, Southland, Friday Night Lights, Animal Kingdom, Get Shorty, other shows. This episode was directed by David Nutter. This is the 4th of 4 episodes he directed. So he did 107, Frank Gallagher, Loving Husband, Devoted Father, 207, A Bottle of Jean Nate, 405, There's the Rub, and then he directed this one. He also directed the first 2 episodes of Supernatural.
Okay.
And 5 episodes of ER, 1 of The West Wing, 1 of The Sopranos, 1 of Nip Tuck, 10 of Entourage, some of Arrow, The Flash, Smallville, and 9 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Entourage! Yeah. Entourage! Wait, I want to see which episodes. Let me see. I need to rewatch Entourage.
It's
banger. Oh my god, he has an Emmy? He won an Emmy for directing on Game of Thrones.
Really?
By the way. Yeah. Sorry for that noise I just made in the microphone.
Anyway, the synopsis of this episode. Fiona is becoming a businesswoman. She sees opportunity in a laundromat for sale and decides to invest. What?
He directed the finale of Entourage.
Oh, shit.
And like a bunch of other, like some other episodes, throughout the seasons. But that's crazy because I thought Mark Mylod directed the finale of Entourage because he was very involved.
Yeah.
In Entourage. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Fiona sees opportunity in a laundromat for sale and decides to invest. Frank revels in the good fortune of his scam, but the troops catch a whiff of foul play. What a weird way to phrase that. Meanwhile, Kev and V discover a shocking secret about Svetlana's father. Previously on, done by Carl. He said, "You missed another episode of Shameless. I'm coming to your fucking house and killing your fucking family." And then he stabs a watermelon.
Delightful.
Previously on Shameless, Frank is running a homeless shelter and a rich man bought it. Ian has started something new with Trevor. Svet told Debbie to find someone weak, stupid, and desperate to keep her, and then she literally fell into the lap of a disabled man with money. Svet's quote-unquote father is staying with the Balls. Fiona is getting more business savvy. Carl is applying to military school and using his apparent Apache heritage to get in. Lip and a friend are hacking the rich coders Lip is interning for. Fiona is dropping responsibilities of the house so she can make something of herself. Title credits.
So much is happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement here.
We open on a slow-mo, Fiona's hair blowing in the wind. She is plopped in front of her own window air conditioning unit. A luxury.
Oh, that shot was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Sorry. She's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Lip comes in her room to say Debbie is not in her room, and she has moved in with Sierra's brother, quote, a paraplegic with no impulse control. Lip defends Debbie and says she's trying to get her shit together like Fiona told her to. And Fiona says, "I told Debbie to get a job, but whatever." Fair play on that one. Lip tells Fiona his internship is paying him now. They just don't know it because he's ripping them off. At the homeless shelter, something is afoot. Frank does an inspection of everyone before they go out to beg for the day to earn money for the house. And there's a new kid who's not cute enough to trade on his looks, but not dirty enough for pity. So Frank suggests pulling a tooth.
Dude, no thank you.
Fiona tells everyone another business is being gentrified in the area, and then she and Lip tease Carl about his, quote, Apache heritage. But he says, "Yuck it up, it got me a scholarship." And Lip calls him Marches Without Foreskin.
He's so funny. Like, so creative.
Carl then bites an apple, and Fiona and Lip are fucking flabbergasted. And Carl starts to read the honor code that he has to memorize, and he's thrown off by it. Dude, you signed up for military school. Yeah, of course there's an honor code. Sierra texts Lip a tongue emoji, so he jumps up for fuck time. And Fiona hands him money on the way out, so tasking him with buying party supplies for Carl's goodbye party. So this is Fiona going like, "Hey, this is your responsibility." She also says, "Can you drop Liam off at school? Ian worked late and he's still sleeping." I worry every time Ian sleeps in. Every time. I'm afraid.
The only time I worry is when they start doing that thing with the camera that they make it all blurry.
Yeah.
Around the edges. But then they did that once, when he's like deciding whether or not he wants to go with Mickey to Mexico. So
Interesting.
take that way you will.
At the homeless shelter, Frank is giving a big old Frank speech in front of an American flag, which hits real weird on November 6th of 2016. He says it's their duty to fight the comfortable and the overfed, so go forth and take their money. And then Lip gets to Sierra and her brother's place, and he says, "Hi, Lip, are you here to have sex with my sister?"
I love Neil, dude. Dude, the actor showed up on my For You page on, like, TikTok the other day.
He was in Workaholics and also in The Intern with
He's
Durs
also
and Adam.
not in a wheelchair.
Can I
No,
ask,
he is
what is
not.
supposed to be the age gap here? How old is his character supposed to be?
Is he older or younger than Sierra?
It's kind of ambiguous because if Sierra's in her 20s, I would assume he's around the same age. The thing is like, wasn't he in high school and then he got hit by...
I think so.
I
This
don't
truck?
remember. Do they say if she's older or
It's the fact that
younger
he
than him?
has... It's... Oh, she's younger. Oh, Sierra? I have no clue. I think he's younger. It's the fact that he just has, like, the hair and the beard. But in Workaholics, he doesn't, and he looks much younger.
So let's say he's
Isn't
20, maybe
Zach
22.
Perlman.
And Debbie is canonically
Still 16 or is she 17?
16?
He is a dead ringer for... Whoa! He's from Ann Arbor. That's crazy. He's a dead ringer for one of my ex-coworkers. Anyway.
So let's say he's
I'll
supposed
send
to be
you guys a
early
picture.
20s and Debbie is around 16. So it's weird. It's
Yeah, it's weird
inappropriate.
regardless.
Yeah. It's a fucked up situation because he's not all mentally there. But he does not seem like a bad person. So that, yeah.
It's like, it's fucked up on both ends, weirdly enough, because it's like he is older, but then also Debbie's taking advantage of him because he's
Yeah.
not mentally there. So it's like, I had no
Debbie
clue
has
he's
to
from
take
Ann
Franny
Arbor.
to the doctor to prove that she's not an abusive mother. And Debbie tells Lip she's afraid they're going to take Franny. And he assures her she's a good mother. She's not a drunk. She's not a drug addict. She's never been arrested. Franny isn't going anywhere. And then she tells him living here will get CPS off her back and that Neil is good with Franny and his dick doesn't work, so sex won't get in the way. She's making dinner later and she invited Carl and Ian too, but not Fiona. No cunts allowed. See that also adds a new element to like, is it creepy? They're not having sex. They're just like engaging in a relationship. What's the line?
Yeah, I guess, and it's like, but it's like he is sexually attracted to her. They just can't have sex, so they definitely
end up
don't.
making some like illusion or something of her like showing him her boobs to like get him to like shut the fuck up or something like that at some point.
And she like clearly was sexually active. She has a child, so it's like, where's the line? What's weird?
What year was this? 2016. So it was like
9
8
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Emma was 16,
9 years
17.
ago. Zach Perlman is 30. Zach Perlman's 36 right now, so he would have been
And
28
Emma
or 29.
was 16, 17
Yeah.
when she filmed that.
Mm-hmm. So we can maybe assume that that's the age gap.
Okay. Neil on his way out the door says, "Don't forget anal."
Perfect.
And then Sierra tells him they're not doing anal. And they start getting undressed. They agree, and they don't think Neil and Debbie are a good idea. So they should fuck to get their minds off of it, Sierra and Lip. At the ball house, Svet's dad, quote, is smashing potatoes, and V asks why he can't do that at the bar. And Kev says, "Babe, you never had in-laws. This is what they do. They drop by unannounced and they annoy the shit out of you." And she says, "Is that some kind of dig at my mom?" And he goes, "No."
No, I love your mom.
Svet's dad says the word grandpa, and Kev gets so excited that he said his first word in English. And then we go back to Sierra and Lip fucking. He's eating her out so good that she comes all over his face, and he's very confused because he thought female ejaculation was a myth.
This whole plot is so fucking funny.
Okay, the thing is though is that
Yeah.
it's true. Sierra's like real.
And he asks, "Why didn't you come like that before?" And she says she can't, and she wouldn't have let him go down on her unless she was really comfortable with him.
Of course.
And that makes commitment for Lip lose his fucking mind. But she sucks his dick, so he gets over it. at the ball house, Kev is getting ready for the day when he hears a TV on upstairs, and he goes up to see Svet's dad fucking Svet. And Debbie is at the pediatrician with Neil and Franny, and they're in the waiting room, and Neil asks another mom if she's lactating. And Debbie...
He's just like intrusive thoughts.
Debbie corrects him and apologizes to the mom. She's like, he can't help it. He has brain damage. Cute baby. And then he says, no, it's not. He's funny. Kev gets to the bar with the girls and is freaked out and tells V that he saw Svetlana fucking her dad. And he tells her he wasn't sure, but he saw a thigh that looked familiar, but then he panicked and he ran. And he says, you think Ivan came here to ball some chick in our bed? Do you hear how silly you sound? And V is clearly, like, really hurt by Svet possibly having fucked him. And she talks herself into Ivan forced her. So, like, that must have been what happened. And meanwhile, Kev, I never thought the word rape would fill me with such relief.
But they don't, but they, like, don't figure out that he may not be her dad. Yeah, they think that... Yeah.
At the Gallaghers, a knock at the door wakes Ian up. He looks all cute and rumpled in his sweats. And unfortunately, it's wasted on Trevor, who is at the door. He brings music, an invitation to a party. Quote, no cover if you bring a twink, referring to Ian.
Is this when he, like, Trevor brings them, like, jasmine tea? And he's like, here you go.
Yeah.
Referring to Ian is so crazy. And, like, sorry to jump in like that, but because he's very clearly, like, an otter.
Trevor, what the fuck do you think you are? Hey, what the fuck do you think you are?
What the fuck do you think you are?
I'm so sorry.
No,
Evan out here tweeting.
That was rage bait,
dude. Do you think I'm a twink, be honest?
It was rage bait. I wanted to see people's response to that.
Yes.
I loved Miko being like, baby, do you want me to hold your hand?
The quote was unnecessary.
Are you wearing a Jay and Silent Bob shirt right now?
I am.
Are they kissing?
Yes, they are.
That's so awesome. Yay. I love gay people and Kevin Smith.
This is official Jay and Silent Bob merchandise I got from when Kevin Smith came to the Montclair or the Philly Film Festival.
God, he's the best. He's actually the best. I'll have to send you this edit that one of my followers made. That's someone great, and it's Dante and why am I blanking on the other guy from Clerks?
Jay?
Dante and Jay. No. His, like, coworker.
Oh, okay.
It's the two of them because they were super, super gay in Clerks. I'll have to send it to you. I like, cried over it a couple weeks ago.
At, no cover if you bring a twink. Look in the mirror. And Ian looks disinterested and says he'll see if he can go. And Trevor's like, Ian, you're making things weird. And then he gets angry and defensive for no fucking reason. Like you said, they were, like, half-assedly trying to make him into Mickey. And, like, it just wasn't fucking working. Because you have to have, like talent as an actor to pull it off.
Some type of angst between them. But I was like, no, they just don't, like, have any, like, chemistry.
They don't have any chemistry. Meanwhile, like, Cam's just thinking about sticking his tongue down Noel's throat. Like, that's...
He's like, I'd rather be doing that.
He's praying. I actually can't believe he was like, form of protest, I will not come back unless you bring Noel back too.
Attached at the hip, I love them.
So funny.
A new couch gets delivered to the homeless shelter, and the delivery guy seems to be skeptical about all the new stuff he's seeing in the house. But don't worry, Frank's got this. He says that when you're living on the street, you start to lose all your faith in humanity. You gave us a sofa, but more importantly, you gave us our faith back. The man is convinced. He's hugging Frank. Frank is a genius. And then he says, let me know if you can rustle up that 60-inch TV for when we gather to watch Joel Osteen.
Yay. Mega church.
The second this man is at the door, Frank has the couch taken out back to a waiting truck. He gets paid $440 for it, pockets $400, and tells his girls he just made $40 on the couch. And they're so excited.
That couch was definitely more than fucking $400.
Yeah.
Brand spanking new.
But coming from a guy that looks like Frank.
Yeah.
Lip, meanwhile, is on a coffee run for work and checks in with his buddy who's still hacking the company. That guy is getting nervous, but Lip's like, we're going to be okay if we're careful. And then he starts talking about how amazing it was to get squirted on. And the guy says, that's the white whale. Every guy dreams of it, but few ever get the chance. Hey, do men talk like this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
1
Yes.
trillion billion
Yes.
%.
That's crazy. That's
yes,
crazy.
they do. Yes. Except, although a lot of them are actually really grossed out by it. Because they're like, it's pee, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
You just don't like
Get over
fun.
it. Grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Lip tells him that Sierra only lets guys go down on her when she's comfortable with them. And he's like, and the friend is like, she's trying to lock you down. You're in a relationship.
This is also how they think. Yes.
They hit go on their little skimming code, and he gets up to bring in the coffee and sees if his bosses are onto them. Fiona finally rolls into Patsy's, and they're slammed. And Fiona's like, sorry, I got caught up looking at properties online. And Sierra has been holding down the floor, and Neil and Debbie are in, and Fiona goes over to them, and Neil's like, it's a beautiful day. Debbie's pissed at you.
No, dude, he's the best.
He's awesome. He's so awesome.
Debbie says she doesn't think Fiona cares about her and her DCFS troubles, and Fiona's like, just because I want you to contribute your fair share doesn't mean I don't give a shit. Okay, then act like it, Fiona. She invites Debbie to Carl's party, and Debbie's like, I will go for Carl.
Well, duh, it's for Carl.
And Neil spends time looking at Fiona's ass, and Debbie snaps him back. And he's like, I was going to say something nice. You have a good ass. It makes up for your small tits.
That was the writers taking shit out.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. A lot of these, like, and a lot of the Fiona bashing after she left.
Might have just been Emmy bashing.
That was the writers take
Yeah.
a little, like, I don't know. That was what the Reddit said. They were like, yeah, some of it definitely was, and they got a little carried away with it, but then they really did try to, like, sort of, like, do her justice by mentioning her in the they were like we actually did try to get her back, but logistically it wouldn't have worked,
and
because
she was
it was
pregnant.
COVID and she was pregnant. Yeah, they were like nobody felt safe having her travel from New York to LA, or even sending people out to New York. They just, like, nobody felt safe doing that.
Yeah.
But she was like, yeah, with the Hall of Shame, like, people like the characters kind of talking shit on Fiona, like, they were like, yeah, maybe a little.
Lip gets back to the office. They're in the middle of setting up, and no one seems to be the wiser that they've been hacked while he delivers the coffees. And Lip tells the cybersecurity guy that he's really interested in learning what he does. And he asks, have we had any security breaches today? And the guy says, no. I recognize this actor. His name is Andrew Leeds. He was on 12 episodes of Barry, 2 episodes of Goldbergs, 12 episodes of A Million Little Things, and he's the brother on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Who's he in Barry?
Yeah, I saw that. I just looked it up. He's in the acting class. Or actually, no, I'm lying. He's Gene Cousineau's son.
Oh.
He's Henry
shit.
Winkler's
Okay.
son. But who is he in the Goldbergs?
He was only in 2 episodes. I bet he dated the sister or something for 2 episodes.
No, once she starts dating Jeff,
And
that's
she goes on one-off dates before she starts dating Jeff.
That's true.
That's so funny. I know exactly who that is.
It's definitely right after. It's definitely way after she's dating. His name's Dwayne, and it's definitely way after she's dating Jeff.
Maybe he's in, like, the college or something
it's
with
season
them.
10. No, because the Goldbergs went up to, like, her graduating college, and now her and Jeff, like, have a baby. This is an episode where her and Jeff have a baby. Yeah, everyone preoccupied with the new baby on the way. Erica's graduation is met with lackluster enthusiasm from Beverly and Jeff. Meanwhile, Adam's new job is in jeopardy, and Barry tries to be the new man of the house. Oh, maybe he works at Adam's new job.
Yeah, maybe he's the manager. Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
The Goldbergs is a great show. Everybody should watch it.
It's really funny. One of the only shows to ever truly do a great BC Boys tribute.
Yep.
When they lip synced Shake Your Rump in the gymnasium. Yes!
At the bar, Svet's dad has just arrived, and Kev asks, is there a Hallmark card for I'm sorry your dad's been raping you?
Sometimes the show's so bad.
Oh. V tells Kev he has to go talk to her about it, and he asks Fet how her morning was, and she says there was a long line at the bank. And he asks Fet if her and her dad ever fight to the point where she can't fight him off. And she asks him to stop babbling, and he asks if her dad ever, quote, took her out for a test drive.
Crazy.
She doesn't answer. She gets up. She walks away. Carl turns up to Dee's house, freaked out and asking her dad how bad Hell Week is in military school. And he tells Carl it's not that bad. And Dom comes outside and starts flirting with Carl.
Girl, we don't like you right now.
Meanwhile, precious little Princess Ian is kicking up his feet at home, listening to the music Trevor brought in.
Bobbing his head.
Scene. It's so funny. I love that he's using text to talk. Come on. Or talk to text. Oh my god.
He picks up his phone,
Ian.
talk to text, goes, this music kicks ass. Where's the party tonight?
Hey Trev. I literally think he's like, hey Trev, music kicks ass. Where's the party tonight?
And then he deletes it without
It's
sending.
so like Disney 2000s. Like, hey.
And he's got earbuds in and he's listening. He's like bopping his head to the music. Yes.
And it's so crazy that like Trevor gave him like a hard drive. Like it's 2016. It's 2016.
Yeah, he gave him a USB. Oh, I bet he knows that Ian doesn't have technology like that, though. He's still using the like old ass laptop. Trevor went and bought a USB drive special. Aw.
At Dom's house, she's asking Carl, why do you want to be like my dad, who's overweight and drives around getting shit thrown at him, like literal
That man
shit.
is not overweight. That is a built man.
Right? He's just thick.
Like, he can be both.
Yeah.
He can be both.
Oliver Stark.
He can work hard and play hard.
Yeah. She asks if he's leaving because of her, and she apologizes for cheating on him and tells him that she misses him.
Boo.
So, such bullshit. Remember when she was in 911?
When she was like, I love you.
At the Hollywood sign with her two
And her
boyfriends?
Yeah.
She was Zendaya before Zendaya.
That was awesome. Literally.
Lip gets to the alibi and tells Joaquin that his job doesn't suspect a thing. They should try for more next time. And then he checks in with a momentarily child-free Kev and who says, yeah, he needed a break from home. Quote, a lot of freaky rape and incest stuff swirling around. Kev, sometimes things require context. You can't, like... Lip buys top shelf stuff and a round for the bar, and Kev asks why. And Lip says because they've been screwed over by a system that rewards criminals with white collars and shit values, fuck mortgage-backed securities, fuck bailouts, fuck too big to fail. It's time to get a piece of the action. Oh, who does he sound like?
Scary.
Oh, yeah. The thing, Lip to me is like if they wrote modern day Icarus.
Yeah.
Like, he's just always flying too close to his damn sun.
Yeah.
Like, he gets a little piece of a win, and then he's like, okay, let me take it all the way until he fails.
Yeah.
And this happens with everything he does, by the way. So.
And, like, he falls into that Frank pattern. He falls into that holier-than-thou thing.
And, like, and it's interesting because Frank is, like, because everybody calls Frank a cockroach, but it really is true because it's, like, Frank will scheme. Frank schemes for fun.
Yeah.
And he does it, and he's like, Frank is so interesting to me sometimes because he's actually really cruel and evil and mean, but he plays himself as this, like, silly, goofy, nice, comedic, like, presence.
Yeah.
But then sometimes his, like, real self will come out, and it gets really scary.
Yeah. Yeah, he's terrifying.
Like, when he hits Ian or when he like growls at Fiona or Lip, it like actually gets really scary to me.
But like, and this particular speech is like exactly like the speech Frank was giving on the steps of the homeless shelter earlier in this episode. Like, it was so intentionally, look what you
was
were
it shot
becoming.
the same? I wonder if they like make a note in the script of like this parallels Frank's, because they'll do that sometimes where they'll be like, just like Frank in the earlier scene, Lip gives a speech.
But like, he's sitting on Frank's stool, talking like Frank.
Oh my god, he's sitting on Frank's stool. That's right. Dude. The show is so fucking good. Like it takes a little bit of distance. Like I have to walk away from it for a while, like when we take our recording breaks or whatever,
Yeah.
and then I come back and I'm like, this show was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like
it was written by someone who worked on fucking ER and The West Wing. Like the creators of the show knew what the fuck they were doing.
John Wells was serious.
Did they sometimes let different episodes decide what age the characters were? Yeah. Yeah, they did do that sometimes.
Yeah, I guess what I'm starting to learn is that like in TV world it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're like, this is like the last of our priorities.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
No,
I have not watched the pit.
100% clocked into the pit. Oh, 100% clocked in.
You're in the pit.
Lock the fuck in. I finna be in the pit. Like, yeah.
I finna be in the pit.
I finna be in the pit every
I don't know if I'll
goddamn
go
week.
there. I kind of want to, but I don't know.
Honestly, Lena, for you,
if I have the time.
you should watch ER. You should lock in and watch ER and then get yourself into the pit because it will blow your fucking mind.
Well, because
The
it's like
same
this,
dude.
because it's a kind of a continuation, yeah?
Yes, like they're being sued by Michael Crichton's estate. Like that's how, yeah.
Yeah, that's how serious it is.
But like there's like a doctor in the pit who is taking like pain medication to a severe degree, and Noah Wiley's character
I
has
saw
to
that,
call him out
Langdon.
on it. And Noah Wiley's
Yeah.
character in ER was stabbed and got reliant on pain medication and got sent away to rehab. So like seeing him confront a
We're
young doctor about
remediating.
it, yeah.
Is he playing the same character from ER?
No.
Okay.
No, it was pitched as the same character. Michael Crichton's estate said, no, you can't do that. So John Wells rewrote it, but like, it's Noah Wiley playing the head of an ER. We all know
That's
exactly who
crazy.
this is.
I love that though.
Yeah.
He's a handsome man.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Anyway, Fiona is making the special menu at Patsy's when a cat comes running by. She picks it up, brings it to the laundromat, and finds June Squibb entering the coin drawers and says the cat's been mad at her ever since she told it they have to move. June Squibb has not signed the buyout yet, but she says the pricks won't let her stay. And Fiona's like, I would let you stay. I'll go get a loan for $100,000 and buy you out right now. And you'll get to stay on your stool, keep your apartment, keep your husband's name on the sign, and we'll get to tell the Northsiders to go fuck themselves.
Wonder how this will turn out. We laugh about the cat, but my dog acts like this.
Yeah,
It's real and it happens.
they're punishing you.
No, she actually does. Like, she gets mad.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Debbie is cooking at Sierra's house, and Lip comes in, and Debbie asks him if he's been drinking, and she's worried, and he says, yeah, but it's under control. And, like, one thing I'll give Debbie, she is always the first one to clock Lip or Ian on some bullshit.
She's like,
She's
something's
always
off.
yeah. She's, like, perpetually the middle younger child, but, like, she sees all. She's like, hey, there's something wrong there. There's something up here. And then he passes on, like, Fiona had asked him to pick up the decorations for Carl's party. So he says, hey, Debbie, can you pick up the decorations for Carl's party? He tries to give her the money, but she won't take it. Ian is already at the apartment, and he and Carl have a moment. And this is when I noticed the show has let Cam start to grow out his chest hair. Because Ian used to be smooth all over, and now he has chest hair.
See, and that's why that twink comment would have worked. Would have worked like a season ago.
Yeah. 2
But
seasons
now it's
ago.
like, no, he's hairy.
Yeah. Carl says he's considering giving Dom a second chance, and Ian asks, does that mean you're bailing on military school? And Carl's like, well, the family needs me. I do a lot around the house. And Ian's like, says, like what? And Carl says, I bought it.
He's not
I mean-
wrong.
He's not wrong.
Dinner is served. Sierra asks Lip, can you cut my son's potatoes? And
Oh my god, I know that made him freak the fuck
Uh-huh.
out too.
like he was sneaking out of the house so her son didn't catch them in bed together. Now he's cutting his potatoes.
Oh, that was the
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So it's like Sierra does try to deny that like they have a thing, but it's like you're kind of acting like you have a thing.
Yeah.
If he's going to family dinner with you and your son.
Neil tells Debbie that Sierra thinks she's only with him for his money, and Lip is offended on Debbie's behalf, but also tells Debbie, you don't need this to get DCFS off your back. And she's like, I don't have any other choices. And the family may see Neil as brain damaged, but she sees a man who doesn't lie to her like other guys do. And she's like, Neil will take care of me and I'll look out for him and I'll cook and do laundry and do sex stuff. And Neil says they're engaged and that's what the dinner is about.
Oh, she makes a comment. She was like, No, she makes like a comment of like, oh, he can watch me masturbate. Like,
yeah, it's like not, yeah.
It's still weird though.
Right. And Franny is living with Ana Flores right now, right?
No,
Debbie has.
Franny's with her.
Yeah, Debbie has
Franny's
her.
got. Yeah.
Oh, she got Franny back? I thought DCFS did an investigation and they took
did.
Franny.
She has her back. This is to make sure she can keep her.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might be jumping to conclusions.
Okay. At the homeless shelter, Frank is collecting the day's take from everyone, and New Lip confronts him. Hey, where does all this money go? And Frank says, utilities, upkeep, quote, the shelter is not a charity. This shelter is for closers. And Frank says, don't piss me off or you'll get a cardboard box under the overpass. And then he gives them all their surprise of White Castle and vodka.
I love White Castle, dude.
Meanwhile, upstairs, he has a fridge full of ribeye and Johnny Walker Blue locked up in his room.
That was crazy.
This asshole.
Once again, though, like when they showed the like cabinet of food, I love the accuracy of where he would have bought the food because I know an Aldi packed and labeled steak when I see it. Like,
oh yeah, and also it's just like, well, Frank never said that he was a communist.
Nope. But like,
this is capitalism at its finest.
I love that even Frank, like treating himself to the nicer things, he bought that at Aldi. Yeah, I know he bought that at Aldi.
Yeah. They were serious about accuracy.
The dinner party ends and Sierra asks if Lip wants to stay and fuck his future sister-in-law. And Lip's like, hey, so what's our deal? And she's like, he says he's getting comfortable, that she had him cut Lucas's food. And she's like, okay, let's get married. Why don't you be Lucas's dad? And he says no. And then she laughs it off and then gets mad at him and then kicks him out.
Well, because she's like, why are you being so fucking dramatic about this? Like, and it's like, I get it. But also it's like, well, Sierra, you are acting like you are in a relationship. Why can't anybody just be like, yeah, I think we should be in a relationship, but that doesn't mean we have to get married.
I think because she can tell that even saying relationship would scare him off.
Would freak him the fuck out. So she needed to bully him first.
Yeah. She needed to make it a joke and then walk it back. And then Ian and Lip come to talk to Fiona and enjoy the AC in her room. And Lip says, pop quiz, what's the most Debbie thing Debbie could possibly do? And Fiona guesses, pregnant? Join the army? Using Lip's name? Like, nudging Ian. And then she guesses engaged, and they say, yup. Ian asks what happened with Lip and Sierra, and he says he freaked out when she came on him. And Fiona, I forget who says it, but someone says, you mean she pissed on you? He said, no. They said, did it taste like piss? And he said, how the fuck would I know what piss tastes like? And then pauses and goes, oh shit, you've been pissed on, haven't you? I think he says it to Fiona. And then he says it was like getting waterboarded, but in a fantastic way.
Crazy words.
And Ian says, cool, you're getting come on like a dude, and I'm making out with a guy with a vagina.
Ian, you could get squirted on if you play your cards right.
Boom.
Yup. The conversation of the three of them was very much giving PSA about trans people explained by cis people. And Ian says he calls the whole situation his junk. And Fiona says, how do you have sex with the junk? Ian says, I don't know. I've been trying to wrap my head around it. I'm really into him. And Lip says, just not so into her. And Ian snaps and says, he's a fucking him, okay, all right? Not a her.
Ian snaps.
This ally.
Yeah. But like the dialogue was very much giving a cis person wrote this.
Right, but it's like, all right, for 2016, you guys were taking it.
You can have a pass.
Like, this was good.
Fiona asks, hey, what do you guys think about hanging out at a laundromat, picking people up there, turning it into a cool spot? And they all are like, yeah, you know what? That could be cool.
And she has like
I could be into that.
Grin. She's like, ha 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 ha.
You know what? Like, the way that in Columbus we actually do have a laundromat that's a music venue.
Yep.
It's like pretty well known. It's called Dirty Dungarees. And
That's
it's like
dope.
where all the punk shows get held after hours. But like during the day, it's a laundromat. So she was like onto something because Dirty Dungarees has been around forever here. Yeah. So she was onto something.
Morning at the ball house, Svet's dad does the grandpa thing again, and Kev, this time, is not impressed. He grabs the kids and says, we're going to be gone for an hour and a half. Debbie comes to visit Frank at the shelter, and she sees his money. She tells him she's getting married, and she needs him to sign a thing for consent because she's under 18. And Frank asks a bunch of questions about Neil. How much money is he making on disability? And he tells her, no, he's too young. It's not enough money. You're going to outlive the settlement. And that you should go to an assisted living place and get written into an old guy's will for a fucking hand job or something. And she offers him money, and he says he's trying to give her wisdom and that he single-handedly solved the homeless problem in this country. And she says, you're just ripping them off. Different family, same fucking Frank.
Snaps, Debbie.
And then...
I actually really liked that, like, delivery from her.
Yeah, it was good. She storms out. We see that New Lip overheard that whole conversation. Meanwhile, Original Lip is picking up dog shit when he gets a FaceTime from Joaquin. Joaquin says, the system's down, they're on to us. And Lip's like, no, don't worry, it probably just crashed. Kevin V come back early from their like hour and a half walk that they said they were going to take. They hear the Russian news on the TV upstairs that Kev heard last time. They think Svet is being forced again. They go upstairs, but Svet is in fact enthusiastically participating.
Dude, she's riding him like crazy.
She's like, yay, yay, yay.
Debbie comes to Fiona for consent to get married. Fiona agrees, and she tells Debbie, it's your life, it's your choices. And then Fiona gets a call from the bank. They will give her a loan, but only for 80 grand. Lip gets to work. They're once again being raided by the feds, but this time they were shut down, like, for real. And Lip's like, and now Lip has his boss's fucking dog to worry about.
Oh, fucking yapper.
Dom's dad pulls up to Carl, and Carl's like, I'm not going to military school. I'm getting back with Dom instead.
He's like, get in the damn car.
Yeah. Ian, at work, in the ambulance, pulls up to a scene. A woman has been hit by a hearse. He is very, very good at his job. He's a very good EMT. That's what we see in this scene. Fiona goes by the laundromat, says that the bank would give her 80 grand for the place, and the lady says she never thought she'd get that much. She had forgotten their conversation. She had forgotten her conversation with the yuppies that said that they would give her 100 grand for the place. And Fiona lets her forget it. And she has June Squibb sign those papers. And the laundromat belongs to Fiona.
It's so crazy because, like, Fiona obviously thinks that she is actually doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'll let her stay. But I don't know.
In the back of the rig, Ian is starting a line and assuring the lady that she's not going to die. She makes him promise to tell her son something in Spanish if she dies. And then her pressure bottoms out and Ian has to start compressions.
I forgot about this random ass storyline. This random ass part in the episode. I was like, wait, why is this happening?
Yeah. Oh, God, remember when 911 actually did emergency calls? Carl and...
What happened to
Remember
fires?
when the calls fucking connected to what the characters were going through? Like, we just have, like, sporadic calls, like, throughout the episode now. It's like, no. What happened to them being thematically resonant?
What happened to that fucking montage set to a Jukebox the Ghost song that made Buck realize what he really wanted out of love in a relationship? Like, come on!
Literally. What happened to an episode called Stuck, where everybody is dealing with feeling stuck in their lives, and then all of the emergencies revolve around people getting stuck in places? That was television.
Yep. Carl and Dom's dad pull up to Dom and a shithead guy lounging out back together. Shithead isn't circumcised, and Dom says she doesn't mind it anymore, and Carl tells Shithead that she has gonorrhea.
Yay.
Good on Dom's dad for being like, do not let my fucking asshole of a daughter ruin your future for you. Look, she will do this to you again. She's already doing this to you again.
She don't give a fuck.
Lip comes to Patsy's with the dog. Lip asks if he and Sierra can ignore the last 24 hours, that he's trying not to repeat old patterns in his relationships.
Well, he's failing.
But they make
He's
up.
bad at it.
They make up. He offers to go down on her no matter how many times they have to change the sheets. Good for you. Frank comes to the Gallagher house looking for a shovel and sees the brochure for military school. Carl says he wants to grow up to be a man, and he surely can't learn that from Frank. Frank tells Liam that he has a 50-inch TV and a massage chair with his name on it right down the street. Kev and V go to the Alibi to confront Svet while she's stocking the shelves, and she tells them, okay, yeah, you caught me. And Yvonne is he's not my dad, he's my husband. Which means not only is her marriage to V not real, her marriage to Mickey was in fact never real or legal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was... Well, because she was an immigrant. Yeah, I don't know.
She was already married.
Because she was undocumented. So yeah. So it wasn't real in the first place. But even then, like, she was undocumented, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was real.
Fiona comes into Patsy's, excited to share her news about buying the laundromat. She tells them she got an $80,000 loan using the house as collateral. And Ian's like, cool, so you risked our house on a loan for a business that you don't know how to run. And she's all like high and mighty about the plan. But he has every right to be angry at her about this.
It must be so fucking annoying when she comes home and does shit like that.
She's like, well, my name is on the deed. And he's like, we all pay for this house. This house belongs to all of us. You can't just fucking put our house up as collateral because of this is her promoting the club night and forgetting to put money in the squirrel fund all over again. Like, that's what this is. And he tells her she's making a huge mistake. And she says, how huge? Like blowing a grant and getting kicked out of college? Huh? That huge? Liam goes over to the shelter to watch TV, and suddenly no one will line up to give Frank their cash. They found his stash upstairs, and he tries to talk his way out of it. Like, oh, you found the emergency fund. But not even new Monica Dolores is on his side this time. He swears he was keeping the money safe for them, but they throw him out the window about it. Fiona and Lip get home to Debbie with no banner, no cake. She passed the task off to Ian. So Fiona gave it to Lip, who gave it to Debbie, who gave it to Ian. But he was supposed to get off work 2 hours ago. Because he's the only one who works for a fucking living around here. He had a patient.
He's saving lives.
Yeah, he had a patient
Because he's the
coding.
best sibling.
Ugh.
Because he's the best sibling and he's everybody's favorite. For a reason.
Fiona is pissed that Lip didn't just do it. And Lip says, I didn't ask to play mom, okay? And then Debbie, weirdly, says neither did she, coming to Fiona's defense. Carl comes down and says he doesn't think he's going to go to military school. He's afraid of being hazed. But Debbie, Lip, and Fiona all assure him he's tough enough. He's tougher than every guy in that fucking military school. And then Ian goes banging on Trevor's door. He lost a patient. He's upset. And Trevor was the only person he wanted to tell. Fucking gag me.
Right. I think, okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to project. I think it's because he sees parts of Mickey and Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what it is. And also, it's like, Ian's just like, I hate my fucking family. I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Ian's whole thing is, I want someone to make me feel important.
Yeah. I need this to be about me. Ian jumps him. They make out. Ian admits he doesn't know how to do this, but Trevor says he'll show him. Ian takes out a condom, and Trevor says, you can't get an STD from a silicone cock. And Ian says, no, it's for me. And they find out they're both tops, and neither of them is willing to get fucked. And so...
Why don't he put it in? The reverse of why don't he put it in? They both want to put it in.
Listen. Yeah, they're both like, I'm a top. Okay, so we're just laying here now. Cut to an injured Frank clearing himself a bench in the park. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The family is also taking Carl to the bus station where Dom's dad is waiting for him to, like, make sure he gets on the bus. And Carl says one thing he knows how to do is take a punch and hit back, and hopefully he can put that to some use. This was Ethan leaving the show to go to school, right? That's what this was?
To finish out high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's partially why he got sent to juvie too, so that he could leave for part of that season. So this is him leaving for part of this season, I think.
Yeah.
Good for him, though.
Yeah. And good for them for working it into the storyline in such kind of a productive way for his character.
Him coming back is done really well, too.
Oh, good. Lip and Debbie and Fiona hug him goodbye. Ian not being there to send his brother to military school was criminal.
Sex with
because he wanted to fuck.
He wasn't having sex.
Well, I said he wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
Not he was going to. He wanted to fuck.
Carl says, I'm going to come back a man. The bus pulls away and everyone's like, so he's not going to make it a week, right? Lip and Fiona stop to talk and he tells her she can still back out of the loan, and she stares him down. And Jeremy and Emmy, man, they can fight like nobody's fucking business. Like Lip and Fiona in a head-to-head battle always eats. Cut to credits. The after credit scene, Carl is being called fresh meat, but he throws the first punch and goes, anyone else want to haze me? I could not identify the end credit song. Next week on Shameless, Frank tries to burn down the homeless shelter. Ian introduces Lip to Trevor, and in that scene, Lip says, you get rid of the dude with the lady parts? What's his name? Trevor? And Yvonne is gone. Kev thinks Svet killed him. Fiona finds out the laundromat is in fact a money pit because she bought it without doing any kind of fucking research.
Because she's
a wackadoo.
She's
a wackadoo.
She's got an ego.
I liked the progression of this episode. I liked the story progression that happened in this one.
Everyone was a little more intertwined than normal. Everyone's been so away from each other.
And everybody's story moved. Everybody's story had a purpose and moved from point A to point B and was showing you progression of their characters, which was nice. Except Ian's. I mean, sort of Ian's.
The Trevor of it all is just annoying.
I would say out of all of them, he moved the least.
Ian progressed fine. Right, it's like, am I biased because I'm not a fan of, like, the Trevor relationship? Or am I, like, do I actually have a problem with
I would say of all of the
Ian
storylines in
developing.
this episode, his moved the least.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think, I don't know, the double top reveal was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny. Like, him finding another queer friend is a fun thing, and if they would have this is the same way I feel about Buck and Taylor in 911, and if you would have just remained a friendship and not fucked it up by trying to put them in a relationship, I might look fonder upon this. But like,
oh man, that was such a good friendship for like the majority of season 4, because Buck does not have any friends.
Yeah.
Buck does not have a single friend outside of his family unit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do think, like...
I felt the same way about Lucy.
Lucy Donato.
Just to jump back and rehash this in a way that, like, has been rehashed a million times with Buck and Taylor. That was their last opportunity to make, like, an endgame relationship for him.
Yep.
That could have worked. Because not only was she a returning partner, I guess, but also, like, she sort of got him.
Yeah. They established a
way
friendship and a rapport, and it worked.
And she understood her role in his life as, like, not part of his family. Because when she's talking to Lucy after they kiss or whatever, and she's like, you don't understand what the 118 means to him. Like, she gets all of that. And further, like, in the beginning of season 5, when she's, like, at dinner with Eddie and Buck, and Eddie's bitching at her, but she still tells Buck to go after him in the kitchen. Like, she would have been so fine to be, like, the side piece in that relationship.
Yeah.
That was, like, their last opportunity. Like, I don't know. Natalia was something or other, but I was like...
I
Natalia
think
was a
they
nothing
ultimately...
sandwich.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think if...
Yeah, but it was so nothing sandwich that I look back at it and I'm like, there's potential.
There could have been something.
I think if they were going to completely ignore Buddy, Taylor was their last option. but I do also think that they ruined Buck and Taylor by making them a relationship instead of a friendship.
Like twice.
Well, it was just like, yes, but also like, it was a satisfying and predictable conclusion to their season storyline of like, will they, won't they, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, then to make them break up is so bizarre.
Yeah.
That it's like, how often are we walking up close to the buddy line only to back off?
They don't give a fuck.
I'm not going to point fingers on who I think is responsible. You guys know what I'm thinking.
Listen, I mean, the first 2 times it was Fox. After that, I don't know. But the first 2 times it was fully Fox.
I think I'll start pointing fingers after this season. I think it'll be socially acceptable to start pointing real fingers.
Yeah, depending on where we land. Yeah.
We're already there. Like, the fact that, like, they've broached it on screen. Hey, are you in love with Eddie?
We're over it.
That's your own obstacle. Whatever. It pisses me off.
Yeah. Listen, and maybe by the time this publishes it and the second half of the disaster has aired, maybe we're talking out of our ass. Maybe we're old news. Hey, who knows? Hey, I would love to be wrong.
That is the beauty. That is the beauty, is that everything changes every single day.
I would love to be wrong. Please make me wrong. Please make me loud and wrong.
Please make me wrong.
Yeah.
Please embarrass me with how wrong I am.
Yeah. I'm so tired of it going the other direction. So let me be pessimistic and prove me wrong.
I'm so sick of being right and being a prophet. Please prove me wrong.
But yeah, like I saw somebody on Twitter saying like everybody that's closing right now, everybody that's like dooming right now would not have survived the Shameless fandom seasons 6 through 9. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You're a little bit right. Because I dipped the fuck out. That's how much I couldn't take it. Dipped out.
Come back
like,
until
I
right
actually
now.
can't. Yeah, I actually can't
like
stand him not being there.
Yeah. See, that's the mark of like a real Fujo, I think.
Is that I stuck around and I came back?
Is that you quit when your ship wasn't on screen anymore.
Yeah. But the second there was a whiff of him,
I'm back.
Here I was.
You were like, I'm back.
I signed back in. I've watched the episodes of season 7 that he's in. I watched the scene in season 9 that he's in.
More context.
And now it's so awesome because I get to like imagine crazy scenarios where like they're still talking to each other while Mickey's in Mexico.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
They never told me it didn't happen.
Yeah. To the point that they reunited in prison in season 9 and neither of them seemed that shocked about it. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, for Mickey to be so confident that Ian would just like accept him back with open arms, it's like there was something.
You were talking, you were communicating in some way. You really were.
In some way.
Yeah.
Like,
every once in a while, Mickey sent a postcard.
Maybe at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe at least at the beginning, and then when Ian went manic, it like went dark.
Like, every once in a while, Mickey sent a postcard, Ian sent a money order. Like, something happened there.
He loves his boy.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, that's his baby. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so excited. That is episode, 9 that he comes back in? Episode 9 of the season, so we've got 3 more?
Yeah. Well, it's like, he doesn't come back, they just say that he's broken out of prison.
Oh, yeah, they say him, and then he's in episodes 10 and 11.
Yeah, he doesn't actually appear until 10.
Yeah.
And then it's 10 and 11.
He's in episode 10 with that terrible wig. And then he's in episode 11.
So funny. They were like, his hair's long.
Yeah. And they like,
that
very
was so
honestly.
Funny. I remember when they were filming that, and people were just taking pictures with Noel out on the street with his long hair and his wig. And they were like, he's in disguise. I remember the theories floating around. Oh my God.
Very honestly, if they had never brought Mickey back, I think I may have been okay with them sending him like safely away. I don't love the in a dress thing, but like
that was how I felt. Like I was sort of like, but like also knowing that season 7 was potentially like a finale, I was like, okay. Like I was like, you know what? There is a world in which Ian moves down to Mexico at some point. There is a world in which Mickey waits out for however many years and then comes back. Like there are so many potential possibilities for like what could have happened. But it is so fun that like
they brought him back and they were like, and they get to win, and everybody else kind of loses a little bit in the finale.
Yeah.
They don't lose at all.
Like, the finale
Like-
is literally their, like, 1 year anniversary party. Like,
for their wedding. And then it's like Lip ends up in a life that's like not really suited to him. They have to sell the house. Carl is a cop. Debbie is being crazy. Frank is dead. Like, it's like Ian and Mickey are the only ones who really won.
yeah.
Like they made it out.
Yay.
They made it out. They're happy. They're together. They're in love. And they can kiss in the alibi and everything's fine.
I truly do think, well, I guess Kevin V got to move. Like, that was nice. I truly think that if Mickey had stayed around, like, season 5 or whatever, season 5, 6, they would have gotten back together.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I actually think it would have been, well, and like, that's sort of what they did in season 10, I guess, where it's like they're broken up, but they still live in the same city.
Yeah.
But,
I
like,
love.
they
I
just
also
can't quit
love
each
that,
other.
that season 11. God, we're jumping ahead. I love that season 11 gave Mickey the Terry closure. I didn't necessarily
Yes.
love the way, like, the steps that they took, but I like that they knew that book needed to close for him. That, like,
And like, they knew that there was a part that like needed to be serious, because there a lot of season 11 and a lot of that Terry storyline was like kind of
too
silly,
funny.
yeah,
jokey, but like the whole show just became that way.
yeah,
But like, there were parts of it that were very serious.
yeah. Like,
that
I know
gave Noel Fisher needs to be employed forever.
them. Like,
Why is he not on my TV screen every week?
like season 10, the wedding of him being like, I love you and he's never gonna let me be happy. Like, them fighting through that and getting to, like, happy anyway.
Yeah.
Even with, like, the
They were so playing favorites on this show. They were like, we love writing Ian and Mickey.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them the craziest scenes.
because
I
Noel
just
Fisher delivers lines like, I love you, and the son of a bitch is never gonna let me be happy.
I just
like,
always think about
He's so good. He actually needs to be on every television show forever. Like, even seeing him on The Rookie, which is a show that feels like it was filmed on an iPhone. sorry, that's offensive. But like I think it's just that they use dash cams a lot. It really takes me out of the story. But even seeing him on The Rookie, I was like floored. I was like, I'm so happy to see you again, Noel Fisher, because he delivers every single
Did
time.
he play a cop again?
No, he played a serial killer.
Ooh!
He played
It
a
was
crazy
awesome.
man.
I always loved his arc on SVU.
Yeah, and I think that he might. This is what I think. I feel like he was like teasing it and saying that like he might be back. So what I'm thinking is like maybe he has an evil twin
Ooh.
because they killed him. He I think.
Or maybe he's like haunting.
Or they arrested
he's
him.
haunting one of them or something.
I think they just arrested him. But yeah, his character was kind of cray. He was delivering. Ooh, Noel Fisher.
Yeah.
You need to be everywhere forever.
Literally giving us the character of all time that is Mickey Milkovich. Like,
And it's like, well, and did you guys watch The
Yeah.
Riches?
yeah, I have The Riches on DVD.
Cal?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good in everything he does. I even watched that, like, Al Capone movie, and he was a standout to me. I was like, yeah.
If Eddie Izzard hadn't literally transitioned, I would still be fighting to this day for a reboot of the Riches to finish the story.
They could still do it.
Yeah. And I feel like
Just
Eddie would get in drag for it.
Or they just make the character transition. Who cares? Like, I don't know. Like, they could just be like, whatever. Eddie would get into drag for it.
Eddie would get
but
into drag for it, yeah.
Minnie Driver, like, oh, she wanted that show to come back so bad.
Yeah.
I
That was
remember
just
she
a
gave
victim
some
of the writer's
interview.
strike, that show.
I know, yeah, she gave some interview where she was like, I was pissed that got canceled.
Yeah.
I would have
And, like,
Caitlin
Noel's
Olsen was in that.
And, like, Noel's character was, like, in danger. Like, it was a cliffhanger. He was in danger. The series ended.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
It's
about
been
that.
so long since I watched that show.
That show was so
It was
good.
so
I might need to revisit it.
It was very.
That could have been huge.
Yeah.
That could have actually been really huge. But then you know what? If that wasn't canceled,
He never
we
would have been
probably wouldn't
Mickey.
have gotten Noel on Shameless.
He never would have been Mickey if the Riches didn't get canceled.
It's a win some,
It's
lose
okay.
some.
And Caitlin Olsen. Well, what year was that?
5.
It was, like, right before Shameless.
But was Caitlin Olsen on Always Sunny at that point?
It's been
Because she's in the
17
show.
years,
She plays like their
so-
next door neighbor. The Riches.
The 2005?
2007. So she was doing both. Always Sunny and
The Riches
The
2007.
Riches.
Shameless 2011. So yeah, if The Riches had gotten like 2-3 more seasons, he would not have been Mickey
Not our
Milkovich.
Mickey.
Not my Mickey. And then yeah, Caitlin Olsen would have been on Sunny anyway.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Anyway,
Wow.
I liked this episode. I think season 7 is proving to be better to me than I ever thought it
It's
would
fun.
be.
I enjoy it.
And season 8, I'm still terrified of. I'm still very scared of what season 8 is going to be, with absolutely no
I
Mickey
need a
at all.
refresher of season 8. Yeah.
I remember.
It's the only season
The
with
first half,
truly
at least.
0% Mickey Milkovich. None. No Mickey at all.
Yeah, there's some good in there, but there's a lot of like
Bleh.
low-key.
Honk shoe. Yeah.
A lot of honk
Just
shoe.
a little. Like, I don't know.
Speaking of,
And then yeah.
it's late and I have to pee. So,
Yup.
Time.
do you guys have anything
I'm
else to
ready
say
to
about the
go.
episode?
No, I think it just kind of like continues on everyone's weird individual stories. It didn't really wrap up that many besides Carl's, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be weird to see what the balance is without Carl for the next few episodes.
Not a lot changes, if I'm being
I'm trying to
honest.
remember. Let's see. Let me see what episodes we have coming up. Because he's not gone for too terribly long.
I
to be
figured at
honest.
least for the next 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, you'll never ever get a chicken in your whole life. Sold me the laundromat, remember. I think that, like, they really turn up, like, Ian and Trevor. And they really beef up. They give Frank something different to do. That they spend a lot of time on. Obviously, they spend a lot of time with Fiona. I think Carl comes back in... Oh, just kidding. They don't need balance. Because there's somebody who returns.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
In season
So they
7?
spend a lot of time with that.
Yes, I do remember that.
Oh, Monica.
Mhm.
Right, Monica. Right.
So we only really have like 2 Carl-less episodes.
Shit, you know, I missed Monica. I'm excited
that are
for...
like truly. Oh, this is her best run. This is like, and I think this might be like her longest.
She's there for a couple of episodes.
She's there for like 3.
I think that Ian misses her entirely, though, doesn't he?
No. In fact, they do
Shit,
something
no,
crazy.
Right. Yes, no, I do know
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And
this is
her and
crazy.
Frank have, like,
Okay.
a whole funny thing.
Right, because fucking Trevor got to meet her and Mickey
Yeah.
never did. Right.
Yup.
Ugh.
And that was something that like Trevor like sided with her.
I
He,
know.
like, hung out with
I
her
know, I
after
know
Ian,
this.
like, stormed away.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Mickey would never do that.
Mickey would never.
Just so we're all clear.
Ian ran to Mickey when Monica showed back up the first time.
New 911 behind the scenes. They're fighting a fire again.
They're fighting a fire on the firefighter show.
Finally.
Yeah, but like they're actually fighting a fire. Looks like an apartment building to me, but it could also be an office building.
I just
I don't
like...
know. What building are you?
So, are they gonna kill Ravi? Hey, are they gonna kill Ravi? Because
No.
Arunda was at Coachella this weekend while they were all filming.
No, I just think that if Eddie's back, they're like, see ya. Which is so annoying. I don't think they're gonna kill him. I don't think they would do that, because what does that do for the plot?
I don't know. It would devastate Buck because Buck's the one that told him not to quit.
Yeah. He could have a really like self-sacrificing hero moment.
Which he sort of
I
already
just feel like
did
that would
when
be
being
so-
threatened with domestic terrorism.
Yeah, but like one where he actually like sacrificed his life. I just feel like that would be so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would just be like, what? So like you brought him back for however many couple episodes, didn't spend any time with him at all personally, and then just like
Yeah.
killed him.
I truly,
Like, okay.
I can't believe that they're going to kill Bobby and that they've already spoiled it. I can't believe that is a thing that's already happened.
That's just so funny.
Yeah.
That is just like when they were filming with Noel Fisher and people were taking pictures of him on the street.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't care.
Okay.
They might just not care. Like, I don't know. I weirdly feel like
I don't know, maybe it's not a super. I mean, I do think he's not dead, but I don't think they like shot fake scenes and are like misleading.
No, absolutely not.
Because I'm like, because I am sort of like, with what time?
Not fake scenes, but like coma scenes, like bad dream scenes, what if scenes. Yeah.
Or just like, I think that they just overwrite their scripts, because I feel like when they write a script, they probably write like more than 40 pages, obviously. And then they do have to cut stuff out. But then also, if Tim is like changing stuff day of, it's or like changing stuff after the fact before the episode airs, it's like there's tons of scenes that they film that probably just get scrapped.
Like, what do you mean a whole like convenience store getting held up storyline just disappeared? Hey, what do you mean?
Yeah, it just straight up got scrapped. They were like, we don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Okay. I have to pee and I have work in the morning, so it was lovely to chat with you guys. It's been way too long.
Always beautiful. Okay, go piss.
Okay, I'll text you both immediately.
Okay, bye.
Bye.